Hello, and welcome to our Fostering and Adoption podcast with Nikki and Larry. This series, we are going to give you the inside scoop of our own personal journey. In series one, Sam and I introduce people in the community who fill different roles in this space. But now I'm so excited to introduce you to Larry, my boyfriend of 36 years and husband of 33. We have 10 kids and 4 grandkids. Yes, we have a full house. Well, right now, some are grown and gone, some are in college, and a few are left at home to enjoy our parenting skills.
Over the years, we've been asked to share our story, and we've been more or less reluctant.
Right.
But now I think it's time. So, are you ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
All right.
So now we are ready to spill the tea. Get comfortable and tune in.
Join us.
Okay, so before we really get into the nitty gritty of our journey, I think it's important that you understand who we are and what made us the way we are today, which actually will answer the question for you. Why do we make the decisions that we make? And why do we make the decisions that we have made in the past? So, Larry, I think it's important that we talk about our childhood first, okay?
All right.
So, talking about our childhood, I grew up in a 2-parent home. I was the youngest of 3, and we had a lot of opportunities in my household to serve. And when I say serve, I mean serve. I guess you can call my mom, she was crazy for the Lord. So she made sure before we enjoyed any of our time on the weekends that we always started Saturday mornings off by just giving back. So our Saturday would look like going to the nursing home on that Saturday morning and reading to the residents who were there. We read the Bible to them. We did some arts and crafts sometimes. And then one Saturday after the month, this is a Saturday event or activity, as my mom would put it, that I really just grew to love because we did it so much. And it was interacting with other children, which I loved because I was the youngest. So what we would do is go into this home of a lady that went to our church who had a lot of children. And these children were disabled. Some were in wheelchairs, some were verbal, some were nonverbal. And while my mother's missionary group actually fixed breakfast and helped them in the bathtub, my sister and I would just sit there and talk with the children. And then we would, every now and then, we would get an opportunity to help serve their breakfast and help them out as well. Sometimes around holidays, we would do activities. So I loved doing that. So that's what our Saturdays look like. And from there, my mom also, Larry, it was kind of weird, but normal for us because my mother would meet other people who were less fortunate than we were. Like she went to the gas station, saw a lady who was living out of her car. Mama came home with a full tank of gas, but she also came home with another car following her. And there was the lady and her 4 children who then moved in with us for a couple months before, they could live on their own. So that's the way I was raised. And I think it had a lot to do with how I am today.
Yeah, that is kind of explained a lot. Well, for my household, I would say my folks ran a tight ship. My father was a disciplinarian, and my mother's job was to let my father know who needed discipline. And they gave us our moral compass, our moral ground, and our spiritual beliefs. And my mother was also, just like Nikki's mother, was crazy for the Lord as well. And so, pretty much a typical American household, if you ask me.
Okay, well, at least to us it was because we met, we kind of understood each other's family. It was easy to understand because, first of all, not only did our mothers have the same first name, Linda, but they just loved the Lord. We stayed in church a lot during the week, on the weekends. And then let's go back to how we met because that was, if you think the way we grew up on Saturdays looked strange in my house. the way we met was a little strange as well because Larry, one of my friends actually, and that I grew up with, that I was working with at the time, because I told you we were a little different in our household. So we could work in the summer, Larry, but only if we were giving back in the community. So my summer jobs were working in the parks, helping children out who were on low income or free lunch during the school year, and we gave them food and we had activities for them. So during that time, I had a friend named DJ that wanted me to meet his cousin. So we went to the house,
Yep.
and then Larry opened the door,
Yep.
and
And my brother never got to meet Nikki until later when we were dating.
right. So I was there to meet Larry's brother, but I met Larry. You know, God knows what he's doing.
Yes, he does.
So then and there, we met, we started dating, and we dated for years. I was going into the 11th grade. Larry had just graduated.
Yep. And I was going to the Air Force.
So he was going to the Air Force, but he was supposed to leave in August.
But I ended up leaving a little bit later, delayed enlistment.
So therefore, we got a little more time with each other, and which grew our relationship. So then once I went off to college and came back that summer, from being home during the summertime, I told you I was the youngest of three. So at this time, my siblings were out of the house. It was kind of boring that summer because I didn't have a summer job lined up. I didn't really want to work at the parks anymore during that time. I was a little older. So I was at home bored. And Larry was in the military, on the military base. So I thought that was a perfect time to just go on and get married. So I talked to my mother at that time, and she agreed, that we can get married. She got married at 19, so it was no big deal to her. And we had been dating 3 years. So we tried to let Larry know that we were getting married, but the phones were down. A bad storm was in the area. And at that time, we didn't have cell phones. So the only thing we could do at that time was just plan the wedding without him. So my mother and I planned my colors. We planned where we were going to have the wedding. We talked to Larry's mom. She helped out with everything. So by the time we called Larry,
everything was already planned. All I had to do was just be there on time and say, I do.
Right. So we had everything together, and we got married 2 weeks after I got home and decided it was time to get married. And we did. So our wedding was planned in 2 weeks. Now, to tell you the truth, it's not like I just told him we were going to get married. Larry did propose twice.
Wait, you counted?
Twice in high school. And I just felt it was too soon because I wanted an opportunity to go to college. So therefore, he was ready to get married. He wanted to get married really bad, right, Larry?
Yep, my family married early as well.
So he wanted to get married. So it sounds weird, but it wasn't in our families. So we got married right away. A couple months later, we ran into a situation where some people we knew and family members needed a place, a stable place for their children to be while they worked out some things in the marriage. So I guess now we know it to be
undocumented kinship places.
Right. It's kinship. So, but just undocumented because we didn't know anything about the system.
Nope.
So we took in 2 siblings and we cared for them and loved for them like they were our own until they were able to go back home.
Yep. They traveled all the way to Nebraska with us.
Right. Because we did get moved during that time period with the military. I went to college. I continued college. My mother was very proud of that. I did continue college. I got my bachelor's. I got my master's. And then during that time period, after getting those degrees and working in a high school, I was leaving one day. And during that time, I saw a student sitting on the bus stop late one evening. And just asked her, how could I help her? Where was she going? She said she was just waiting for the bus. But it was getting late. So, of course, I was concerned because there was a young lady on the bus stop by herself. Also, it was my first day of meeting this young lady during the cafeteria time. I was her assistant principal. So I told her, hey, just jump in. I'll take you wherever you're going. I didn't know, Larry, at that time, we were going to go and head to a fire station.
Wow, fire station?
We went to the fire station, and she was going to check in. I asked her, did a relative work there? I didn't know what she was doing actually. So when she went in, I kind of followed her to make sure she was safe, and found her talking to a lady who was letting her know that she couldn't check in alone because she was only 17, or she wasn't quite 17, but something where it was an age requirement, and she didn't meet that age requirement to check into what I now know, or found out at that night, it was a women's shelter. So she didn't have a place to go. I asked her, could I take her somewhere else? If she had relatives, she did. But what I found out quickly by taking her to this certain neighborhood is that her relatives were not in a situation to take care of her. We went to a place that was just very underprivileged. A lot of poverty was there. Drugs were being sold. There was just a lot going on. And she didn't feel safe. So that's why she was looking for another place to live. So she was out of her home. Couldn't stay where she was staying because of a domestic violence situation within her home. So she had to leave the home. So at that time, I just took her home, right?
Right.
And I said, "Hey, Larry, this is, and this person, this is Mr. Larry."
There you go. And she stayed with us. I mean,
Right.
all the way through graduation from high school, and we have to get into college. And man, she's a talented young lady.
Very talented. She had 5 scholarships to college.
Right.
5 different colleges got her for either academic or athletics, because she was very athletic. Ran track, and just a great person, great speaker. Just needed a place to live.
Right. To help her get over the hump and begin her early adulthood.
Right, and we were so blessed to be able to spend the holidays with her. We spent Thanksgiving and Christmas with her, and then enjoyed graduation.
That's right.
And got her off to college. So God always have a ram in the bush, I guess, is what we found out in our lives and while we were growing up. So all of this is very normal to us. So when we talk about why we make the decisions we make, this is why. I mean, God has not failed us yet, because right after that, we had an elementary student who came to live with us months later. At that point, I moved on to a principal in elementary school, and
his mom needed help. She was in the military, and he was very young and a whole ball of energy, but he was so fun, and he brought a lot of energy and excitement to our household.
Right, and then even with that, he brought a lot. We kept him for a couple of years.
Right.
And he attended school with me, and then we came across another child
right.
that was in the school. So that was a single mother, a single parent mother. Then we had a single father.
That's right.
This child was actually sent to my office because of stealing chicken nuggets from the cafeteria.
Chicken nuggets, wow.
I mean, every child that we really stepped in and God brought into our lives was there for a reason. I mean, who, if a child is hungry, we know to just feed them. I think all of you would just feed them, right?
Right.
But he was being disruptive, and he was a child who was causing problems into the in the cafeteria during cafeteria time, as well as during the instructional time. So that's why he was written up, not just because of the chicken nugget incident. It just didn't help. So he was sent to the office, and I did want to suspend him or put him in school suspension. It was he had been in office a couple times, so I just spoke with him, talked to him, and actually contacted the father to come up after school.
Right.
Well, I called Larry about an hour or two after school to let him know I was still waiting for the father, and there was my delay with coming home with our children, and
his dad didn't show up.
Not at all. He didn't show up. He just told me then on the phone after I called him several times that, hey, he was fed up. Enough was enough. He couldn't hold his job down and continue to care for his 2 boys, because this child did have a brother that was in high school, if he had to keep coming up to the school. So he didn't show up. So again, I went home and said, Larry, this is, and this person, this is Mr. Larry.
There you go.
And this person, and this student actually stayed with us for several months.
Right.
We did have his brother come over and stay a couple of weekends so that they can still have their sibling bonding time. And we also Larry met with the father a lot.
Right. Met with the father, and got to understand his situation and help him as best as we could. And from I guess a male perspective, if you will. And we also got to pour into his older son. And and when the time was right, then the young man returned home.
Right. So that was a good experience for us and nice transition because all the children actually went back with their families. So we did a lot of undocumented kinships
Yeah. Oh
at
yeah.
that time.
Oh
These were
yeah.
all children that we had some type of relationship with. So when we're talking about fostering and adopting, think about these children are going into the homes without relationships.
Right.
They're being placed in homes with strangers. And some are, fortunate enough, as sadly we can say, to go into a home of someone they know. But we have children out there that need homes. So we continue to just live our life. We didn't know much about fostering at all. We didn't know anything about fostering.
No, I'd never heard of it. Like
Never heard of fostering. We heard of adoption because Wednesday Child was very popular.
That was very popular show.
Very popular on TV at during that time. I think we're aging ourselves, right? Okay.
Are we? Okay.
Is Wendy's Child still on? I don't know. We have so many options now on TV. We can watch everything
right.
And flip apps. But then it was just 10, 12 channels and everyone watched Wednesday's Child.
And the TV turned off at what time? 11 o'clock.
Right. With all the... Okay. Y'all don't know anything about that. So we'll move on.
I'll take that back.
Okay. So after this child went back to his father and his brother, then we... one of my favorite stories to tell and share is just how we met some people we call family today. They're still family.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay, so let's start the story is that everyone can remember where they were during the time of two things. I know y'all think I'm going to say 911. Okay, everybody remembers September 11th for sure. But what about when we heard the tragic news of New Orleans?
Yep.
And that Katrina hurricane hit and it was shut down. We never heard of a whole city being shut down before and being stopped on different bridges and highways trying to get out.
Right.
Well, it devastated us as well. So we were glued to the TV this day, and from hearing what happened, we were called the convention center, talked about how they were feeding people into the convention center here in Dallas, Texas, and they needed help. So what did we do?
We got a nice SUV and we drove down there to help.
Right. We drove on in, we parked, and we were surprised that where we parked, God just cleared the highways for us, honestly, and took us straight to a parking space because when we got there, we parked right away, rushed in, we were ready to help. And we were met by, I guess they had everyone, and it would make sense, everyone in controlled areas. So it was a person sitting at a desk with some sheets of paper. And they said, "Are you here to help?" Of course, we said yes. So we signed up, or I signed up right away, signed us up on this sheet of paper. It was blank. So I just figured since they had about 10, 11 pages there, it must have been just a new sheet of the existing log of volunteers. So I signed us up proudly at the top of this paper. And they said, "Okay, thank you for your help." So they kind of told us you can go around here or go around this area. So what we did, we went walking. And as soon as I started walking, I said, "Larry, look." And we saw a lady with 2 or 3 boys at first. And then she was being trailed by 2 more ladies and some more boys. Right. Okay, right away, it reminded me of my family. I had 3 boys, my sister had 2 boys, and we were always together, just walking around. So I said, "Larry, look at God. You know how we do it. Look at God. He sent us these people to help." So we went up and we introduced ourselves to them, asked them if they needed anything. And they told us then that they hadn't had baths or showers or anything. We looked at each other. And right away, we said, "Oh, well, you can come with us. We have a place for you to shower." Okay, that's the mama in me. Okay, my mother now being exposed through me because remember she brought it home a whole family from the gas station. So I didn't think anything of it. Larry was right on board because his mother would do the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
and we put them in our SUV and we started driving. I didn't couldn't call. I was trying to call my mom and my dad and my sister to let them know we were on the way to the house
with a truck full of
with a
people.
truck full of people because I needed them to start getting some clothes together, towels together, food together. Once we hit a certain part of the highway, then we were able to get reception. Because during this time period, I guess with everything going on, it was crazy technology wise, you all. We weren't where we are today back then because cell phones were shut down. It was a hot mess. So once I got in touch with my parents, of course, you know, they didn't say anything because they knew us that we always we always carry people in. I could just hear my mama start praying in the background and start calling her prayer partners. They started getting everything together and got it together. They met us at our house. We got out, or we were about to get out the car with that family of 8. And then the phone rung, and I put Larry's number on the sheet.
So ring, ring, ring. Weird number. Hey, this is Larry. Hey, Mr. Larry, are you coming back to help?
And of course we were like, help. Yes, we're helping now. We will be back. We thought, okay, they were going to take the showers and we were going to go back. But they were talking about a different type of help.
Oh yeah. Basically, we were supposed to be sheltering people. Well, Nikki had signed us up for some type of shelter. So the blank sheet of paper was probably because, well, obviously there weren't that many shelters there, or maybe people just weren't going down there like us. I know we're crazy like that. But at any rate, what did I do? I got in that truck and drove back down there. And next thing you know, I'm coming back with 3 more families.
Right. So I went in the house and met my parents and my sister with the family of 8. So we could get them settled in, fed, showered, and all the good stuff while Larry went back to the convention center to pick up more people. Because now, not only were we a shelter, but we were also transporting to our shelter that we didn't know we had.
Look at God.
Okay. But God took care of us, in our readiness to just serve his people. Larry rushed on down to the convention center. He didn't know how many he was picking up. I didn't know. We couldn't communicate because the phones were down by the convention center. So once he got on the way where he could call me,
the phone started ringing. Everybody's phone in the truck started ringing. It was all of their relatives trying to reach out to them. They couldn't reach out to them and communicate them for days at a time. So all these people were down in that convention center, living and existing basically from that tragedy. And all of a sudden they were reaching their relatives, and it was a joyous thing to hear. So basically, we had a lot of people coming to meet us at our house.
Right.
To pick up relatives.
I had no clue how many people Larry had. So I had 8 at home. He had about 5 altogether. We counted 13 people. We had just picked up 13 people from the convention center, and within a 2.5, 3 hour time period, not knowing that this was going to occur that morning. I don't even recall if we had food or not. I know we didn't have that much food because it was just 5 of us at that time living in our home.
Right.
So therefore, everybody was cooking food, dropping food off. All mama prayer partners in the family dropping food off. When Larry arrived, we had a couple people who were on their way from Arkansas.
Yep.
A couple people were on their way from Oklahoma to get their father. So we had a couple.
Garland.
We had a father and Garland and Grand Prairie. People
were
already there.
Yes.
They had got to the house before Larry got to the house.
Right.
So God just put people in place to either pick up and reconnect with their family members, or put people in place where we could feed them until they could reconnect. I think by the end of that night, we were left with 8 people in the home.
Right.
From the Katrina hurricane situation. And these survivors, just conquerors, now family members.
Family members, yeah, they definitely family
They
members.
stayed with us for a while because everyone that they were with had lost everything.
Right.
They didn't have anyone, any place to return to. They were all in one vehicle themselves.
Right. One big SUV.
That was, breaking down because of the situation and the wear and tear from the travel. So we had a whole lot going on at one time, but not one moment or one day did we ever go without.
That's true. That's correct.
I mean, when God tells you to move, you just got to learn to,
Get walking.
move quickly because he's right there with you. He's beside you. He's behind you. And when I tell you that we don't know where all this food came from, the survivors were able to get FEMA cards. So
Right.
thank you, FEMA. We were able to put food and groceries into the household.
Right.
They were excellent cooks.
Yes, they were.
So we ate. We ate better when they were with us than before we ever picked them up.
Yep.
They were cooking dishes that we've never tasted before. That we
They
still
spoiled us.
they did. They spoiled us. And it's so funny when you talk about, we hear a lot. Oh, you're such a blessing to that person, or you were a blessing to that family. No,
No, they
that
really
family blessed
truly
us.
blessed us.
Truly, we are
Right.
still cooking their food today.
Yes.
Using those recipes, still talking with my nephews. I'm still T Nikki, and Auntie here and Auntie
Yep.
there, because these are family members that God brought us and felt so, he loved us so much that he would give us family members that will be faithful to us,
Right.
loyal to us,
Yep.
and there for us even in our hard times. So since then, we just continue to develop and grow a relationship where we are family to each other. We
Yep.
help each other out.
Yep.
And every single Thanksgiving and Christmas, there are 2 dishes I never have to cook because they've always supplied it for us.
Right.
So we still love them today. That family that of 8 that stayed. We don't remember all the names of everyone who came through our house during that Katrina experience, but we do know that they were all loved and taken care of. And that's what our God does.
That's right.
So he is taking care of us through that part. Also, just being able to be there for someone else in the when I returned to the school, because those 5 boys went to school with us,
Oh, yeah,
and we
they sure
continue
did.
to work. We continue to teach, be administrative, do whatever our daily was. We did not miss a day serving other people. So we went back into the schools, and during that time, it's just kind of opened up my eyes and Larry's eyes to how many children were really in need. These kids are waking up, going to school, and they don't know if they're going to stay in the same home for the next day or if they're going to have to move to another home. So once we moved to a local area outside of Dallas, then we started learning about foster care.
That's right.
I would come home and tell Larry about the different stories of children that seemed unkept, or that was just kind of new to the school, or just enrolled in my school, that didn't even know their caretaker. So when I would ask him, just an initial interview as they were coming into my school and talking to them with the counselor, and just asking them, oh, okay, so who do you live with? And I received responses of, oh, I don't know. I just met her. I didn't understand their language.
Right.
I mean, that didn't make sense to me.
Doesn't sound normal, does it?
So, and it wasn't normal. It was like, what do you mean you don't know who you're living with? That's when I found out about foster care and what it was. Right. Because a child explained to me, oh, I moved from home to home. I was taken from my parents at this age, and now I live with this person because I messed up in this home.
Wow.
I had no idea. All this time while we were going around taking care of other people's children, I still did not know that it was such a thing called foster care in our state. Kids go into care every 2 minutes in the United States. That means since we've been talking to you, what is that, about 15?
Yeah.
Kids already in care and maybe moved again. So statistics actually tells us that by 5th grade, do you know a child can get moved like 6 times?
Wow.
They're like 10, right? 10, 11, and they've already been in 6 different homes. Well, this caused me to try to create safe zones in our school. Teachers who would be right there for the child that didn't quite know what was going on in their life, to show them the love, to give them extra help. Opening up, I was privileged to be able to be in schools that had what we call behavior units and certain disability units. And in those units, we have showers, we have kitchens. We have different things that we can do in order to open up a little earlier and allow that child to wash up, to allow that child to eat a little extra meal, to allow that child to develop a relationship within the school with another adult, so that they can feel comfortable in their environment and get those needs met. So that opened up foster care. I explained it to Larry.
Right.
We started talking to foster families. We actually visited
Several.
a couple of
Yeah.
a few foster homes, so we can get an idea of what is this that people are doing to help these children, and how could we be a part of it.
Right.
Okay, I'm going to tell you that gets into our journey, and it's not. It wasn't an easy decision to foster, because there are a lot of different hidden things that we found out about foster care. What are those things? Well, you're going to have to tune in on the next episode. Now, since you know a little bit about Larry and I, now let's get into how did we go about making the decisions that we made in order to foster and then eventually adopt. And what did we find out that either shaped us or made us try to reshape the fostering community that we lived in? We hope to see you soon. Tune in on next Thursday.
Bye.